Quick preface about Gnostic writing. This excerpt is taken from the Apocryphon of John. The basic text of the Apocryphon of John existed in some form before 185 CE Common Era, when a book called the Apocryphon of John was referred to by Irenaeus in his book Against Heresies (Adversus Heresies), written in that year. Irenaeus reported about the Gnostic text, saying that teachers in 2nd century Christian communities were writing their own books to gain converts. He called these books an indescribable number of secret and illegitimate writings which they themselves have forged to bewilder the minds of foolish people who are ignorant of the true scriptures. Adversus Heresies 1.20.1. With that being said, always learn to take truth and understand that there may be certain lies or certain misguided information in some of the ancient writings. We live by virtues of truth. So these specific, I'm talking specifically to Gnostic writings, because Gnostic writings are not always going to be pure. Now, as concerning the ancient text, the older texts that are actually, a lot of it are the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is what we know as the Old Testaments, the prophets, the laws, statutes, even the Gospels. The Gospels were actually Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were written by, for the most part, as we know, the apostles themselves. These are true writings, and again, the words in them, if you practice them, will bring forth life, and if you don't practice them, you will bring forth death upon yourself. But when we read into Gnostic writings, some of the words and some of the messages may be a little bit weird, and it's because they are not true writings. They are not the true people, and so always learn to know when to take a grain of salt with certain things, extract truth from the lies, and all shall be well. Okay, so I'm going to read the Gospel of Judas. This gospel is not written by Judas. This was actually written around 185 AD, to the best of my knowledge. Yeah, so written around 180 AD. And again, always understand some of these are Gnostic and Gnosis writings. Learn to take a grain of salt. The Gospel of Judas. The Gospel of Yahudas. This is the proclamation which was secretly revealed to Yahudas Iscariot by Yahusha during the 8-day period that was the 3 days before he, Yahusha, celebrated Passover. One translator has celebrated his passion/sufferings. 1. Yahusha appeared on earth to perform miracles and wondrous acts in order to save humanity. Because some conducted themselves in a righteous way and others continued in their sins, he decided to call the 12 disciples. 2. He began to talk to them about the mysteries that lay beyond this world and what would happen at the world's end, at the end. He often changed his appearance and was not seen as himself, but looked like a child. Some translators have apparition or spirit when he was with his disciples. 3. He came upon his disciples in Judea once they were sitting together piously, training their piety, training in godliness. As he got closer to the disciples, he saw they were sitting together, giving thanks and saying a prayer over the bread, Eucharist, thanksgiving. He laughed. 4. The disciples asked him, "Rabbi, why are you laughing at our prayer of thanks? Have we not acted appropriately?" He said, "I am not laughing at you. It is just that you are not doing this because you want to. You are doing this because your God, has to be/will be praised." 5. They said, "Rabbi, you are the earthly only Son of our God." Yahusha answered, "How do you know me? Do you think you know me? I say to you truly, no one among you in this generation, in this race, will understand me." 6. His disciples heard this and became enraged and began mumbling profanities and mocking him in their hearts. When Yahusha saw their inability to understand what he had said to them, their stupidity, he said, "Why did you get so upset that you became angry? Your God who is inside of you, and your own lack of understanding guides you and have instigated this anger in your mind/soul. I challenge any man among you to show me who is, understanding enough to bring out the perfect man and stand and face me." 7. They all said, "We are strong enough." But in their true being spirits, none dared to stand in front of him except of Yahudas Iscariot. Yahudas was able to stand in front of him, but even he could not look Yahusha in the eyes, and he turned his face away. 8. Yahudas said to him, I know who you are and where you came from. You are from the everlasting (eternal) Aeon realm of kingdom of Barbello Barbello's everlasting kingdom. I am not worthy to speak the name of the one who sent you. 9. Yahusha knew that Yahudas was capable of understanding, showing forth, thinking about, something that was glorious. So Yahusha said to him, walk away, step a distance away from the others, and I will tell you about the mysteries of Elohim, the reign of Elohim, kingdom of Elohim. 10. It is possible for you to get there, but the path will cause you great grief, because you will be replaced so that the 12 may be complete with their God again. Yahudas asked him, when will you tell me how the great day of light will dawn for this race? When will you explain these things? But as he asked these things, Yahusha left him. 11. At the dawn of the next day after this happened, Yahusha appeared to his disciples. They asked him, Rabbi, where did you go and what did you do when you left us? Yahusha said to them, I went to another race that is greater and holy, and that is a greater and holier generation race. His disciples asked him, Lord, what is this great race that is superior to us and holier than us, that is not now in this realm, kingdom? When Yahusha heard this, he laughed and said to them, why are you thinking in your hearts about the mighty and holy race, generation? So be it. I will tell you, no one born in this age, realm / aeon, will see that generation / race, and not even the multitude army of angels controlling the stars will rule over that generation race, and no mortal corruptible person can associate belong with it. 13. That generation does not come from a realm which has become mortal, corrupted. The generation of people among you is from the generation of humanity, of inferior / without power, which cannot associate with the other powers above, by whom you rule / are ruled. When the disciples heard this, they were troubled in their heart, spirit. They were speechless, could not utter a word. 14. On another day, Yahusha came up to them. They said to him, Rabbi, we have seen you in a dream, because we all had weighty dreams about a night you were taken away, arrested. He said, why have you come to me when you have gone into hiding? 15. They said, there was an imposing building with a great altar in it and 12 men, which we would say were the priests, and there was a name and a crowd of people waiting, enduring because of the perseverance at the altar for the priests to come and receive the offerings. However, we kept waiting. We were tenacious also. Yahusha asked, what were the priests like? They said, some of them would fast for 2 weeks. Others would sacrifice their own children, others their wives, all the while in praise, offered in humility with each other. Some have sex with other men, some murder, some commit a plethora of sins and acts of crime. And the men who stand in front of the altar call upon your name, name/authority. And in all the acts springing from their lack of knowledge, lack of light, the sacrifices are brought to completion by their hands. The altar remained full through their handiwork of slaughtering the sacrifices. After they said these things, they became uneasy and quiet. Yahusha asked them, why are you bothered? So be it. I tell you that all the priests who have stood before the altar call upon my name. I have told you many times that my name has been written on the judgment of this race, and on the stars through the human generations. In my name, these people have planted barren trees and have done so without any honor. 17. Yahusha said to them, you are like those men who you have seen conducting the offerings at the altar. that is the God you serve, and the 12 men you have seen represent you. The cattle you saw that were brought for sacrifice represent the many people you have led will lead astray before the altar. You will stand, lead, represent, and use my name in that way, as will the generations of the pious, and you will remain loyal to him. Some translations have, the Lord of Chaos will establish his place in this way. After him, another man will lead from the group of fornicators, and another will lead at the altar from those who murder children, and another from those who are homosexuals, and another those who fast, and one will stand from the rest of those who pollution themselves, and who are lawlessness and who sin, and from those who say we are like the angels. They are the stars that make everything happen / bring everything to an end. 18. It has been said to the human generations, look, Elohim has received your sacrifice from the hands of a priest, but the priest is a minister of error, minister in error / ministers, but is in sin. But it is the Lord of all, the fullness of the divine, who commands on the last day of time, they will be shamed. Some have at the end of days. 19. Yahusha told them, stop sacrificing that which you have and stop hovering over the altar. The priests are over your stars and your angels. They have already come to their end there. So let them, be entrapped, quarrel, fight before you, and leave them alone. Do not be tainted by this generation, but instead eat the food of knowledge given to you by the Great One. 20. A baker cannot feed all creation under heaven, and they will not give to them a food and give to those of the great generation the same food. Yahusha said to them, stop struggling with me. Each of you has his own star, and every lines are missing here. Text could read, person has his own destiny, or possibly person who does well will dwell and rest on their star. All things happen in their own season, and all seasons are appointed. And in the season which has come, if it is spring, for the tree of paradise of this aeon / age, and it will produce for a time, then wither. But he has come to water Elohim's paradise, and also water this generation that will last, because he will not corrupt / detour the path of life for that generation, but will guide it from eternity to eternity. 21. Yahudas asked him, Rabbi, what kind of fruit does this generation produce? Yahusha answered, the souls of every human generation will die. However, when these people of this kingdom have completed the time in the kingdom and the living breath leaves them, their bodies will die, but their souls will continue to be alive, and they will be ascended, be lifted up / taken up. Yahudas asked, it is not possible to plant seeds in rocky soil and harvest its fruit. Yahusha said, this is also the way of the corrupted race generation. The children of this kingdom and corruptible Sophia / wisdom are not the hand that has created mortal people, so that their souls ascend to the eternal realms above. Amen. I say that no angel or power will be able to see that kingdom of these to whom belong that holy generation above. After Yahusha said this, he departed. 22. Yahudas said, Rabbi, you have listened to all those others, so now listen to me too. I have seen a great vision. 23. When Yahusha heard this, he laughed and said to him, you are the 13th spirit, daemon. Why are you trying so hard? / why do you excite yourself like this? However, speak up and I will be patient with you. Yahudas said to him, in the vision I saw myself and the 12 disciples were stoning me and persecuting me very badly / severely / strongly, and I was following you, and I arrived at a place where I saw a large house in front of me, and my eyes could not take in / comprehend its size. Many people were surrounding it, and the house had a roof of plants, grass / vegetation, and in the middle of the house there was a crowd, and I was there with you, saying, Rabbi, take me in the house along with these people. 24. He responded and said, Yahudas, your star has misled you. No person or mortal birth is worthy to enter the house you have seen. It is a place reserved for the saints. Not even the sun or the moon or daylight will rule there. Only the saints will live there. In the eternal kingdom with the holy angels, always. Some have the text here, will be firmly established with the holy angels forever. Look, I have explained to you the mysteries of the kingdom, and I have taught you about the era of the stars, and I have sent it on its path on the 12 ages, (aeons). 25. Yahudas said, Rabbi, could it be that my spiritual seed will conquer the rulers of cosmic power? Could also be rendered is under the control of the archons or rulers of cosmic power. 26. Yahusha said to him, Come with me, so that I may show you the kingdom you will receive. I will show you what is to come to you and this generation, but you will be grieved when you see the kingdom and all its race of people. When Yahudas heard him, he said to him, What good is it then? What good is it if I have received it, seeing that you have set me apart from that race? Yahusha said to him and said, You will become the 13th, and you will be cursed by the other generations, and you will come to rule over them. In the last days, they will curse your ascent to the holy race/kingdom. 27. Yahusha said, Follow/come with me, so that I may teach you the secrets that no person has ever seen. There is a great and limitless kingdom, those whose scope no generation of angels has seen, and in it the great invisible spirit is, and no angel's eyes have ever seen, no thought of the heart (mind) has ever understood it, and no name can be assigned it cannot be named. 28. And a brightly glowing cloud appeared there. The Great Spirit said, Let an angel come into being as my assistant, attendant, helper. A great angel, the enlightened, divine, self-generated, self-created one, emerged from the cloud. Because of him, 4 other angelic lights, luminaries, Harmozel, Oreel, Davatai, and Eleleth, began to exist from another cloud, and they became assistants, helpers, attendants to the self-generated angel messenger. The self-created one proclaimed, Let there come into being a star, Adam, and it came into being at once. He created the first star, luminary, bright, shining being to reign over him. He said, Let angels, messengers begin existence to adore, worship him, and an innumerable plethora became existent. He said, Let there be an aeon of light, and he began existence. He created the second star to rule over him, to render service together with the innumerable plethora of angels. That is how he created the rest of the aeons of light. He made them rulers over them, and he created for them an innumerable plethora of angels to assist him. 29. Adamas. Adam was the first luminous cloud, the initial divine expression that no angel has ever seen, including all those called God. He was the one that created the enlightened aeon and beheld the image and produced him after the likeness of this angel. He made the incorruptible generation of Seth appear from the 12 aeons and the 24 stars, angelic lights, luminaries. He made 72 angelic lights appear in the imperishable generation, as the will of the Spirit dictated. The 72 angelic lights themselves made 360 angelic lights appear in the immortal race by following the will of the Spirit, that their number should be 5 for each. 30. The 12 realms, aeons of the 12 angelic lights make up/appoint their father with 6 heavens for each aeon, so that there are 72 heavens for the 72 angelic lights, and for each there are 5 skies, producing all 360 skies for the stars. They were given authority and an innumerable host of angels for glory and adoration, worship. And then he gave the virgin pure spirits for glory and worship of all the aeons and the heavens and their firmaments, skies. 31. The totality, gathering of those immortals is called the cosmos. That is to say, perdition/decay/corruption by the father of the 72 angelic lights/luminaries who are with the self-created one and his 72 aeons in the cosmos. The first humans appeared with his incorruptible powers. 32. And the aeon that appeared with his generation, and the aeon in whom are the cloud of knowledge, and the angel is called El. 33. He created the aeon. After that, El said, let 12 angels come into being, in order to rule over chaos and the cosmos/perdition. And look, from the cloud called Sophia, there appeared an angel, Aeon, whose face flashed with fire and whose appearance was defiled with blood. His name was Nebro, meaning rebel. Another angel, Saklas, also came in from the cloud. So Nebro created 6 angels as well as Saklas to be assistants, and these produced 12 angels in the heavens, with each one receiving a piece of the heavens. 34. The 12 rulers, Aeons, spoke with the 12 angels. Let each of you receive a portion, and let them that are in this generation be ruled by these angels. The first is Seth, who is called Christ. The second is Harmathoth, who is head ruler of the underworld. The third is Galilah. The fourth is Yobel. The fifth is Adonaios. These are the 5 who ruled all of the underworld and primarily over chaos. Note these 5 names are probably associated with the 5 planets known at the time the Gospel of Judas was written. They were placed on their paths and course to keep order and give light, both real and spiritual. 35. Then Saklas said to his angels, let us create human beings in the similitude and after the image, figure, representation of the supreme Elohim. They fashioned Adam and his wife, who is called Zoe, life, when she was still in the cloud. Zoe is another name for Eve in the Septuagint. 36. For it is this name, life, that all the generations seek the man, and each of them calls the woman by these names. Now Sakla did not command as he was instructed, and he commanded the generations of man to live so long / for a divine period of time. He did not create them in his image, his Saklas's likeness. And the ruler Saklas said to Adam, you shall live long with your children. 37. Yahudas said to Yahusha, What length is the long span of time that humans will live? Yahusha said, why are you curious about this? Adam and his generation has lived his lifespan in the place where he received his kingdom, with his longevity bestowed by his ruler, as numbered with his ruler. 38. Yahudas said to Yahusha, does the human spirit die? Yahusha said, this is why Elohim, the God of this realm, ordered Michael to loan spirits to people so that they would be in servitude, but the Great One commanded Gabriel to give spirits to the great generation race, which had no ruler over it, a generation that could not be dominated. He gave the spirit and the soul. Therefore, the remainder / mountain of souls loaned will come back to the God of this realm in the end. 39. There was no light in this world to shine around the people to allow the spirit which is within you all to dwell in this body among the generations of angels. But Elohim caused knowledge to be given to Adam and those with him, so that the kings of chaos and the underworld might not oppress them with it. 40. Yahudas said to Yahusha, so what will those generations do? Yahusha said, truthfully, I tell you all, that for all of them the stars brings matters to completion, heavenly apocalypse. When Saklas completes his span of time assigned for him, the first star will appear with the generations, and they will finish what they said that they would do. Then they will have illicit sex in my name and kill, sacrifice their children, and will fast, and they will kill their wives in praise, offered in humility with each other. Some have sex with other men, some will murder, some commit a plethora of sins and acts of crime, all in my name, and Saklas will destroy your star over the 13th aeon. 41. After that, Yahusha laughed. Yahudas asked, Rabbi, why do you laugh at us? He answered Yahudas and said, I am not laughing because of you, but at the error of the stars, because these 6 stars wander about with these 5 warriors, and they will be destroyed along with their creations. 42. Yahudas said to Yahusha, "Look at what those who have been baptized in your name do." Yahusha said, "Truthfully, I tell you, this baptism done in my name are done by those who do not know me. They sacrifice in vain to the God of this world. I baptize no one, for those baptized here have their hope here, and those who follow me need no baptism, for they will come to me. In truth, I tell you, Yahudas, those offering sacrifices to Saklas do not offer sacrifices to the great Elohim, but instead worship everything that is evil." So they're worshiping to Satan, by the way. That's what that's referring to right there, of this world. "But you will exceed all of them, for you will sacrifice the man, the body that clothes/bears/contains me. For already your horn has been raised, your anger has been ignited, your star has shone brightly, and your heart has prevailed, been made strong, pure." 43. Truly I tell you, your last act will become that which will free this race, but it will grieve you and will anger this generation and the ruler, since he will be destroyed. And then the image of the great race of Adam will be raised high, for before heaven, earth, and the angels, that race from the eternal realms existed. Look, you have been told everything. Lift up your eyes and look to this cloud and the light within it and the stars around it. The star that leads the way is your star. You are the star. 44. Then Yahudas raised his eyes and saw the radiant cloud and entered it. Those standing below him heard a voice coming from the cloud saying, "The return of the great race is at hand, and the image of the great one will be established in them because of Yahudas's sacrifice." 45. But the scribes waited for Yahudas, hoping to place a price on the head of Yahusha. Their high priest whispered that he had gone into the guest room for his prayer. But some scribes were there watching closely in order to arrest Yahusha during the prayer, for they were afraid of the people, since he was accepted by everyone as a prophet. They approached Yahudas and said to him, "Why are you here? You are Yahusha's disciple." Yahudas answered them in the way they wished, and he was given an amount of money, and he handed Yahusha over to them. This ends the Gospel of Judas. So in conclusion, I just want to add in an outro. Those who have an ear to hear will hear, and those who have eyes to see will see. The spirit within the righteous will hear the words in this and understand certain truths that they need to take. And that's pretty much it. Salem, shalom, and shalom. Peace and blessings.